What's up, everybody? Once again, my name is Matt, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Worlds. In the last episode, we played Octoball Derby and got one of the hardest pieces of heart in the game. And in this episode, well, it's time we take on the Swamp Palace. And a lot of people consider this the water temple of this game. And yes, there are water-based puzzles in this temple, but just do yourself a favor and don't get yourself in that mindset of because this is a water-based temple, it's the hardest thing ever. Right off the bat, we do have the boss key in the center of this room, although we can't really do much about that since it's surrounded by fire, so we'll have to come back for that later on. If you look up and over, you can actually see the boss door, so this temple is kind of short, like it's only 2 floors long, but there is a lot of content here. Our main goal right now, though, is going to be making our way down to the basement, since there's really not much we can do on the first floor as of right now. In the basement, well, that's where all the fun is. Now, guys, I will admit, I might be a little biased towards this temple. When I first played this game, this was, like, my favorite temple, and I'm not sure why. In fact, it might still be my favorite temple in this game. There's just something about it. I'm not sure if it's, like, the aesthetics or the music. There's just something about it, like maybe the puzzles even, like even if the water puzzles can be kind of confusing at times, this temple overall is just really fun, and you do get some cool stuff from it. Plus, I haven't even mentioned, this temple makes really good use of the hookshot in that you can use it to like guide yourself on rafts or, you know, pull yourself across gaps on these pillars. It's kind of cool. And dude, can you just die? Because I really need a hookshot onto this pillar. Now this chest, alright, I feel like there's a better way to get this chest. I just don't know what it is. Like, you can do that and sort of, I don't know, glitch yourself closer to it, but that can't be the correct way to get that chest. Like, that feels way too wrong. Anyways, go through that snake head and check it out. There's a hidden room down here. Unfortunately for this seal, I kind of need his weird shell vehicle because if we bring it up this staircase and just carefully avoid this arrow launcher, that way I can hit that button, check it out, there's a chest, and inside is something very awesome. It's a golden rupee. And you know, that actually does bring up a good point. There's not too many rupees to find in this temple. In fact, I think that's the only, like, big rupee that you do find in this temple. Anyways, let's use our hookshot and grab this key. That way we can actually start making some progress in this temple. Everything we've been doing so far is basically just collecting chests. Speaking of which, check it out, we got the compass, so now we can see all of the hidden chests inside this temple. And there is one in particular you really don't want to miss, although we'll worry about that later. For now, let's hookshot across here because you do not want to step in that water. It'll actually take you away and push you down into the abyss, so avoid doing that. And actually, if we hit that switch, ta-da! Turns off the water, so now we don't have to worry about it, and we can get ourselves another small key. Now, I know this is kind of weird, but we're actually going to go back into the room that we were just in, and now unlock this door. I know it seems kind of weird to get that small key first, but trust me, that alone will save you a lot of time and confusion going through this temple. And actually, it is worth mentioning that you can complete this temple without getting all the small keys. You can miss one of them, if I recall correctly, but no more than that. And just for the sake of completion, I'll probably go and grab all of them. Now, this room is actually one of my favorite rooms just because the puzzle is really, really cool, and I really like these water slide things that you get to make. And, you know, I will admit, I'm kind of jealous. I wish something like this existed in real life, because how cool would it be to, like, be able to ride a water slide that somehow has the ability to lift you up and over a gap, like, without tearing your skin off from water pressure, because I'm pretty sure, like, it's not possible to lift a human up with water and not have the pressure, like, tear them to bits and pieces, although I'm really bad at physics, so I could be wrong on that. Anyways, let's go upstairs and not worry about that, because this is just a game, and it doesn't really matter. What does matter right now is this mini-boss, although it is just a larger version of the jellyfish enemies that we've already seen, so it's really not that big of a deal. After we get enough hits on this guy, he should split up into a bunch of little baby jellyfish. Ah, yes, there he goes, and now all I have to do is get rid of all of these guys. You know what's really weird about these guys is, like, they don't electrify and discharge at the same time, so it's kind of weird trying to attack them when they're in a cluster like that. But anyways, we've pretty much made it to the halfway point of this temple, and as such, there is our teleportation spot. Now, we could go to the left or the right. It doesn't really matter at this point because no matter what, they will take us to the same spot. And since we've already been to the left, what do you say we explore the right side just a little bit? It's not like we're really going to do much here. We're actually just going to blow up this block and then jump down there and actually end up in the basement. And I wonder if that bomb's going to fall. Oh yeah, it actually is. Look at that. Anyways, let's jump down after that bomb and check it out. We're in the room where we got the second small key, which we're going to use on this door. And hey, check it out. There's a water level switch. Yeah, you can already see where this is going. Now, this is where the temple can get a little bit confusing, but you are going to want to lower the water level down to its lowest setting as indicated by that weird, like, dial thing on the switch because, well, there is a door that leads into this sort of middle room, and in here, you get something amazing as indicated by this large chest. So let's open this bad boy up and get ourselves the blue mail. This will cut the damage that we take in half. So not only does our master sword do more damage now that it's tempered, now we take less damage because we've got some snazzy blue clothes. That's pretty freaking sweet if I do say so myself. And I will admit to you guys, I am a fan of Blue Link. Like, I've always liked the blue tunic more than the green one. Or, I guess in this instance, it is the blue mail. But, like, even in Ocarina of Time, I liked the blue tunic more than the green one. Anyways, let's pull this switch. By the way, don't pull the right switch. That one will cause a bunch of enemies to appear. So, just hit the left one, so the door will open up, and we can move on out of here. And basically, right now, our goal is to raise the water level to the highest level, and then still have a way to get into the main room where the boss key is. Because this is where the temple can get kind of confusing. Like, we are going to play with the water level quite a bit. Although, it's really not too bad because they really don't let you leave the room unless you have the water level where it's supposed to be. Oh, now this is one of my favorite things to do with Hookshot. So if we shoot it at the wall, we can quickly press A and actually merge onto the wall when we shoot at those weird, like, gray spots. Now, it's a shame they really don't use it too much in this temple. I think they use it maybe twice, and maybe only a handful of times elsewhere in the game, but I don't know, I just really like the idea of Link throwing himself at a wall just so we could latch onto it at, like, the last second. It's pretty dang funny, and it actually is used in some very interesting puzzles later on in the game. Anyways, I brought the water level all the way up because I want to get this small chest. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is required. Let's see. Yeah, it's a small key, and I'm pretty sure you can't skip that one. The opportunity to skip using a small key, I think, comes later on in this temple. I'll make sure to point it out when we get to it. I'm pretty sure we haven't passed it yet. Anyway, let's just make our way back to the main room and check it out. The water has risen up one level. Now, we could technically go and get the boss key now. If you use the tornado rod, you can actually extinguish the flames long enough to grab the key, although I really wouldn't recommend that. Instead, let's head off to the right because, check it out, there's a small chest we have to collect, and inside is just some monster guts, so that one's kind of pointless. However, since, as I mentioned before, this temple sort of mirrors itself on either side, there is a small chest that we need to collect on the left side, and this one is slightly more important, although I think this technically is the small chest that you can skip because, well, it contains another small key, and I'm pretty sure since we got two of them now, we actually could have skipped one of them. We'll find out in a second because, well, we're gonna jump down on the left side. If you jump down on the right side, you can skip using a small key on this door. So yeah, I guess either one of those small keys, you can, not collect one of them. Although this way, at least you can't say we didn't explore the entirety of this temple. Alright, so now I think I want to bring the water level all the way up to its maximum height. If you look on your map, you'll notice there is a locked door in the bottom right. And I believe that'll actually take us back up to the first floor. Now the water's at its, like, maximum height. We might be able to do something about getting that boss key. But before we do that, looks like we gotta fight some walruses or seals or whatever these things are. They're stupid enemies. Like, I'm not even sure why this is a thing. These guys die in 2 sword hits. They're not even a challenge. They don't even try to attack you. They just kind of like float there. Eh, whatever. Not really that big of a deal. They're already gone. And now we can cross to the other side. But before we do that, if we head up here, check it out. There is a hidden fairy fountain. Although we're not really that low on health, so not really that big of a deal. So I guess all that's left to do is to make our way back up to the first floor. Good news is we're almost done with this temple. Bad news, the last thing that we have to do is a giant water level puzzle. Thankfully, like I said, they really don't let you leave the room unless you get it right anyways. And this one is actually rather simple. First things first, we need to lower the water down all the way to its lowest level, because just like in the room, that's I guess the mirrored version of this one, we need to hit this switch. That way it unlocks the door back to the main room. And now all we really have to do is actually just make the water go to its maximum height, and I can't get up there yet because I am dumb and forgot that I need to actually make the water go to its second highest level using this switch. But yeah, all we really need to do now is just make the water reach its maximum height, go back to the main room, and then we can finally pick up the boss key and enter the boss door. We're pretty much done with the temple at this point, and what's really nice is that the boss of this temple isn't particularly hard. In fact, it's probably one of the easiest bosses in the game, but it is a nice reference to A Link to the Past, so hey, I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. Alright, so now that we're back in the main room, you'll notice that the boss key is unfortunately flooded and we can't open it up. But if you just swim over to this platform and break these skulls, check it out, there's a button, and if we press it, it causes this entire platform to rise from underneath the surface of the water, and more importantly, give us access to the switch, which we can now use to lower the water to its second level. And that's basically it. That is the last time that you have to adjust the water level in this temple, and all that's left is the boss. So, like I said, guys, just because it is a water puzzle-based temple doesn't mean it's actually difficult. Anyways, now for the fun part. Check this guy out. It's a creepy eyeball monster. Ooh, classic Zelda fashion. Alright, so starting off with phase 1 of this fight, basically what you want to do is use the hookshot to grab its eyeballs and then slash at them twice with your sword. You are going to want to maintain some distance from the boss because, well, if the eyeballs sort of like make any contact with the main body, they instantly get that weird water shield that's like surrounding them. So obviously, the further apart you are from the main boss, the easier it is to attack the eyes and kill them. So we've only got one more left, and my gosh, could you just die? There we go. Now we will start phase 2, the main eyeball. Now this is actually even easier. So his main form of attack is going to be trying to jump on you, which is very easy to avoid, and then he will charge up his eye laser and try and shoot the water, which explodes a few seconds afterwards. So it's kind of like a depth charge in that it takes a few seconds before it explodes. So just keep that in mind. Actually, if you're lucky, you can get a few attacks in while he's charging up his eye laser, and he's already blinking red. So, oh wow, he's actually dead already. Just as I was about to say, he must be close to dying. Well then, like I said, that boss is rather easy. So there we go. We have just completed up the Swamp Palace. You know, I really feel like we are breezing through these temples because these took me much longer on my original playthrough. Anyways, we've got ourselves our 15th heart container now. So let's head up these stairs and rescue the Sage of the Swamp Palace, which just so happens to be the Queen of these Zoras, Queen Auron. Once more, you have come to my rescue, Link. How I wish I could again reward you with a gift, something that would calm the troubled waters of your journey. I can offer you only my deepest gratitude, and yet another task, I'm afraid. You must rescue every one of the 7 sages. Only together can we help you defeat this great evil. Alright, well, we've rescued 4 of them so far. There's only 3 left. Let's get to it. And oh, it's Hilda again. And she's still with the painting of Zelda. Oh, lovely Zelda. Can you begin to comprehend how lucky you are? Such legends, such heroes. We had legends, we had heroes. Lorule had hope. But all that is gone. Lorule has only me now, and your hero, of course. And if the hero of Hyrule fails me, oh, but I must have courage. He will succeed, or all is lost. You know, I can't really get a good read on Hilda. I'm not so sure she is on our side. I guess only time will tell. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. Once again, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.